What about Paul Felder?
Paul Felder was Paul Felder. So a couple of years ago, I sold my company to this AMMA group, which is publicly traded on Nasdaq. And one of my business partners, Rob Haydack, was a part of that, and he also currently is running CFFC right now. And he actually referred Paul Felder to us at that point because he was taking on another role, and he used to, kind of manage Paul as well. And during that time, his focus had to go into the promotional side of things. So he referred Paul over to us, and it was interesting. Paul and I are very close now. At first I didn't know who Paul was. It took me a while to kind of figure out his personality. Once I figured out his personality, it's just he's just the funniest guy, man. I could screenshot so many things and post them about him, and people would just crack up because he's just an idiot. But he owns like we just jive well off of each other. He's actually on his way to New Zealand right now. I just hopped on an airplane to do the press conference over there for his main event fight coming
With
up.
Hooker.
So met Paul, through that association, and at that time, Paul. This is one of going back to something you asked me earlier. At that time, Paul was kind of doing his camps on his own. He never really had a real head coach. He was kind of doing boxing in one gym, wrestling in another, jujitsu in another, and traveling around from camp to camp, being a training partner for Cowboy down at the ranch and stuff like that. I was the one that told him, I was like, Paul, I was like, you're getting ready to step to another level. You have so much potential. I was like, I think it's time you do a camp where it's focused 100% on you. And he's such a loyal guy that he had a real hard time doing that because he was loyal to all of these different satellites that he was working with. But, I convinced him, I was like, listen, go try out Duke Rufus. I think that Duke's style and Paul's style would mesh well with each other. Not only that, I felt like their personalities would mesh well. And he went out there and never came back. As soon as he went out there, he realized that there was, and again, look at what has happened with his fight career since then. He's gone on a tear, and he's ranked number 6 now, and he's doing his first main event here in February.
Yeah, and you mentioned he's a funny guy, and I saw his Instagram post on Dan Hooker. It was funny. I'm not
He's he's
gonna.
he's funny.
and
He's got a
and he,
very
so and he's also is a commentator for UFC. Is it something that you as a manager had to come up with, or it's a?
he tried out for that right before we got together. He had auditioned for that, so that's when his first roles came up. So he also has a theater background. He went to
Oh,
college for,
really?
yeah, he went to college for acting. I mean, he was in plays and stuff. Like, you'd see him in a Hamlet tighties and stuff like that. It's the funniest thing you've ever seen. um but he's just excelled at that, and I honestly believe he's become one of the best commentators
I agree with you. He's
in the
great. I
sport.
mean,
It's
yeah,
great.
I didn't even realize it's him until they showed him. Like, oh, holy cow! I didn't know he's such a great speaker.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to work with him now. We're going to do a couple of trips, and we're going to go talk to some Hollywood agents, and we're going to
Nice.
try to get him into get him acting and stuff like that, because that's what he really has a passion for.
Yeah,
I
he
think
has a great
he would
background.
be really good at it too. He's really, yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.